Alright, let's talk about Expedition Conquistador. This is a game that released in 2013, and I never got to complete this game. I played this game on my channel as well, way when I started my channel, and I never completed it. And now I completed it, but I didn't complete it, and I'll get to that later on. But right now, this is a game that takes place between 1518 to 1520, where we are a Spanish conquistador who is leading an expedition to Hispaniola and Mexico. There we go. I corrected myself. So to begin with, the game gives you a starting difficulty and everything. Well, you can go to the settings and change your difficulty setting. I kept it to normal because obviously there is no need to change the settings of this game. It's alright, the difficulty is not that hard or anything like that, and most of the times you are in favor to win the battle. In that manner, I did one small mistake. I like playing this game with sudden death on, because then you have consequences for your actions. Instead, I totally forgot to turn on sudden death, which is also in the settings. That is something I needed to do, and I did not do that, and I regret that because I did not lose a single party member, and I was afraid that I was going to lose a party member every single freaking time, even though my party members were like so badly injured to a point where they should have died. Alright, so yeah, that was the reason why I said, and by the end of the game I had like 25 party members, and which were like crazy amount of party members. Usually on Expedition you can only take 10 party members. I think it's 10, max number is 10, but you get other people who join you, and that obviously increases your party size. Now obviously, to make up for the losses you have already made in this sudden death type of mode, you need these party members to join you. But I didn't have sudden death mode, so I was rocking with 15 party members at a single time, which was kind of crazy. Again, this is not that difficult of a game. It's a very simple game to grasp concept of, and it's not that hard if you're not having sudden death on. Sudden death puts that trinkle of challenge in your game. When you lose somebody like one of your party members, you really have a big emphasis on saving these party members and putting in your cost in medicines and stuff, and you don't have any medicine. By the end of the game, I had like 100 plus shit of medicines, I don't know, and like 50k gold and like about 150 rations or some shit like that. I didn't need any equipments either, so I just kept on selling my equipments and made money out of that. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that. But yeah, this all will continue on with the game and everything. We'll begin with the game straight away. Begin with the game. Let's just say that this game is very unique in this aspect. Like, you get to choose your party members. This is your expedition basically, and you get to choose who's coming with you on your expedition. And there's Hispaniola. There we go. Sorry, I'm butchering Hispaniola. God damn it. Hispaniola. Okay, calm down. But yeah, like you have Hispaniola and you have Mexico. Right, so for both the sections you have a chance to have different parties. I had somewhat similar but different parties at the same time in both the sections of the game, I would say. For the starters, you can see on the screen what is my party member. You already might have seen by the time I'm like done talking about shit in the previous starting of the intro. So yeah, like, but you can see that these party members that I've chosen them according to a trait, and some of the traits mismatch, and that's the reason why I was just like having a lot of problems and stuff with the loyalty and everything, the morale and everything, the team morale in the first half of the game. Once you get to the second half of the game, my morale is skyrocketed with everybody, so like it's not an issue. But for the start of the game, yeah, it's an issue. Morale is kind of an issue because I was like rocking with a party where I was choosing favorites instead of choosing ones who should have like similar traits and stuff. And that's also a hard thing to do because you can't have everybody who is of similar trait and not similar trait as well, because like I mean, you can't have anybody with similar traits and not similar traits as well. Like opposing traits are something that each and every similar trait person will also have, and that's the issue that you go with in this whole game. A lot of my scholars are medics, I think, so I don't remember, but one of those two, they were like very like hard for me to choose because of how their traits were aligned, and they were most of the times unhappy. I think it was on medics, but yeah, we'll get into the game now.
1518. That year, the Maria Teresa left Spain and set sails for Santo Domingo. Each of us had our reasons for going, but on the sea, they did not matter. The fraternity was our family, and we followed our Capitan. In the worst moments, we learned who we could trust with our lives. The troubles only strengthened our resolve. When we finally glimpsed the shores of Hispaniola on the horizon, relief and excitement washed over us, our hearts filled with the promise of adventure. Our welcome was far from warm, however. The Gobernador disbanded our group and stripped our Capitan of command. If we were to continue, the Capitan would need to win his favor. It was only the first of many challenges.
So we begin with Hispaniola, obviously, and here we land on the land where everything is taken from us. All of our equipments, our rations, our money, valuables as this game calls them, and even our medicines. All of them are taken away from us. This is taken by Hispaniola. I'm just going to say this island's government. I'm not going to butcher the name anymore. But yeah, this island's government basically it has taken everything from us. So our first job is to go and meet the governor of this specific island, and so we do. We go meet the governor. Governor says that he will give us everything, and another thing he reveals to us right at the start of the game is that our father is apparently the king or the governor. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, one of the two, and he's quite influential and everything, and we are following his footsteps and getting into an expedition. And the governor says he knows our father and everything, and he knows where he come from, so he will give us all of our equipment back, but he won't give us our ship. And we are obviously confused by what does he mean. Like, we obviously are greatly influential people and everything. Why won't he do all that for us? Well, it turns out the government wants some favor from us, and obviously governor wants some favors from us. That also means that it's time to explore the island and stuff, right? So the first thing that the governor says is like, we have to meet this tribal village or something like that. We have to meet with the elder and get some information from them about this situation, that there are rebels and everything around our places. So we have to find where these rebels rise from, and who is the leader of the rebels and all that stuff. All right. And on our way, we also do like side missions and stuff. Now go and collect all the side missions. I can't put emphasis on how important it is to get all the side missions done. The charting missions, the normal missions. I did leave some of the charting missions at the end, even though I completed like 2 of them or 3 of them. Do the charting missions. They are pretty easy to do and pretty easy to find. Just do them and you should be just fine with getting all the experience, because experience is one of the things that you will need with your party. Your party is such an important asset of this game that you need all that experience that your party gets throughout the whole game. And all these side missions, all of these charted missions, all of that shit, it gives you good chunk of experience, and all that experience goes into your party, and your party is obviously gonna be strong. You need your 6 individuals ready for battle whenever, because listen up, man, there are times when your individuals will be injured, and there are times when you will need them for the main battles. When that time comes when you need them for the main battle, the 6 individuals, you have to be sure that they are fully healthy instead of being injured. Otherwise the battle can go wrong because you are using a low level party member. Now, that's one of the reasons why you need to level up the party members, because they unlock skills. Secondly, they unlock passives, which are really important as well. again, can't put emphasis on how much these passives and skills mean in this game, because these are the things that will carry you throughout the combats of this game, because there are random events that appear whenever you camp. Well, okay, let's get to the meat and gritty and everything about this game. All right, I've been avoiding to talk about the combat because I wanted to talk about the story first before getting into the combat and about all that stuff, but since I already talked about it, let's just get into the gameplay a bit more. So let's just put about it like this. The game is open world. It is a bit RPG-esque, I would say. I wouldn't say it's completely an RPG, but yeah, it's RPG-esque where you have to level up your characters and stuff, right? It's kind of like that, but the game is also open world where you travel on your cart, well, your horse in this case, but yeah, and then you like camp on days, you upgrade your stuff and everything like that, right? So like the game works like that. So here's the thing about the game: there are random events that can occur when you're camping. Now these random events can go from anywhere between really good for you to anywhere between your party member hates you to anywhere between like your party member is dead if you're playing on sudden death, or if they're not playing on sudden death, they're damn injured for sure. So yeah, like anything goes in this kind of situation, and anything will happen in this kind of situation. So you need to be prepared for everything. You need to have at least one guy to level 3, level 4 by the end of the first campaign, or the first scenario, or the first map, whatever you want to call it. You need to have one guy by level 4 at least by that time, because leveling up the others, it's not that important. But I recommend, this is my recommendation, this is what I followed, so I should be fine with it. I was playing on normal and sudden death off, because I said at the start that I forgot to turn on sudden death, and I didn't know that until I checked in the options later on, because I was just like, something's not right, let me check the options. And yeah, there was an option to change the difficulty and everything, and there was also the option to turn on sudden death. And by the time I checked the options to check whether the sudden death is on or not, I was already at the second part of the map and like halfway through the second part of the map. So I really was like, oh, come on, that's really sad, and I'm not gonna play the whole game again just to get to that part, you know. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I just stopped at that point, and I was just like, whatever, that's fine, it works, it is what it is. So yeah, so moving on, like the combat is grid-based combat, like old might and magic might. I said might, my god, my English is getting worse day by day. But it has the old might and magic combat. If you have ever played any of the might and magic combat games, it's a grid-based combat where you'll take turns fighting enemies, right? And there's chance of attack for long-range attackers, like XCOM style, where you have this certain percent of chance that you can get this percent of like attacked on the person. There's also like an attack damage displayer where it was like between 26-34. Maybe some of them have 40 to 50, some of them have 50 to 60. So it shows how much we attack them. And we also have the percentage and crit multiplier, which is also great. Some of the skills are also great. I will also recommend to get for your archer or rifleman, one of the two hunters. I recommend getting at least one of the two skills. Fortune favors. It doubles the chance of crit rate. So yeah, that's really good to have. Crits are amazing to have. And the second one, crit in close melee range combat. That's a veteran skill that you get later on. Get that as well. It's really good to have, honestly. It's just so good to have. Yeah, so it only works on rifle though. So rifle or bow, whatever you're carrying. Basically long range weapons. But it's so good to have. Whenever there's like a close range combat guy, you can use your other guy to lower them to like half HP or certain amount of HP, and then just use like a crit hit, and it just works like a charm. I killed a lot of guys just like that. It's amazing and works well like a charm. Okay. Secondly, my team composition. Usually when I used to go into combat, let's talk about that as well. My team composition when I used to go into combat usually had these 6 units basically. It had 2 soldiers, because I always need protection. 2 soldiers, 2 hunters. One was a rifleman, one was a bowman. There's 1 scholar and 1 doctor. Now you'll ask me, what do all these classes do? Well, soldiers, like I said, it's used for protection. They also have high damage input, but they're great protectors. They give us defenses. They have a chance of like avoiding a lot of attacks. If you're using shield and sword, you have a chance to block a lot of attacks. And obviously, when you're using a spear, you have a chance to go do an amazing amount of damage. So yeah, like soldiers in general, great close range people, also great defenders, depending on how you build them. That is, hunters. Hunters, as the name provides the information on it. They are long range units. They are really good long range units, I would say. Especially the archer. Archer, the more longer your range is, the harder it hits. It doesn't pierce through hard armor, but light armor, screw those guys. They are screwed if they are wearing light armor, because the archers do a lot of damage from long range. On the other hand, we have riflemen who do like the same amount of damage that you usually see, because riflemen always use the same type of bullet. Once you upgrade the equipment, they obviously have a higher damage and everything, but they usually use the same type of bullet, so there's no difference in the damage and everything. Now, all that aside, let's also talk about something else. Doctor and Scholar. There's another class called Trapper. We'll get into that as well, but let's talk about these two first. So, Doctor class. It's obviously used for healing. So, we always want a doctor on the field because we don't know when who's gonna get hurt. And always try to upgrade your doctor to at least level 3, because they get the revive skill, which is so really useful, because whenever somebody gets incapacitated in the battle, he can revive there, and it's really useful to have him in the battlefield. Great person to have in the battlefield. Always amazing to have a doctor in the battlefield. I usually had like one doctor at least on the expedition, and we get obviously doctors from the tribal chiefs as well. Like they are basically like, they use herb techniques and everything, but still like the same thing. Then there's scholars. Emphasis on getting scholars no matter what. Scholars are amazing. They may miss a lot of their shots, but whenever they shoot, they expose the enemy's weakness. Now, whenever they expose the enemy's weakness, it's an easy chance for us to take on these enemies, because their defense is down, and you build up, you pile up on them by at least 5 times. Well, that is great, because the weakness modifier, like basically the debuff they get, is the defense minus 10, and all of our units can do more damage to that certain units because the defense is in minus. So it really works well for us in general, because having a scholar is just that good in your battlefield. Now, put the scholars aside. What is a trapper? Well, trapper is a trapper. It traps the units. That's about it. I don't. So in the second half, you get a wife. I chose to have her, and she turns out to be a trapper. Great for me. Anyways, getting back to the story of all the game that was going on. So the governor has obviously told us to check up on the rebels. To start with, we do go to check on the rebels, and it turns out there are a few natives over here. Now, this is where the game turns into morale choices, and also turns into your followers' morales and stuff. I love the game system. The game has a lot of flaws though, but I love the game system. I think that nowadays you'll find better games just like this one, where the system is used better in a better way. Well, I haven't played any, but like, again, I love the system. It's amazing with how it works and everything. But there are a lot of flaws in the game as well, and I'll get to them as well. So here's a simple way to do this. You have the peaceful approach, the violent approach. Alright. Whatever you do, you get the equivalent amount of reward. Now, your aggressive followers will want you to take the violent approach, while your peaceful, cautious followers will want you to take the peaceful approach because it's easier. If you try to go against them, then the pious party members that you have will be really happy. If you don't, they'll be really sad. Having a scholar like just skyrockets your diplomacy check rate. Now, the character, also have check rates. So like you have skill rates and everything, so you have to max out the skills and stuff. I went for diplomacy since I only take one scholar, and I went for medic. So diplomacy and medic, because hunting, patrolling, guarding, all that shit, we don't need that. I don't need that because I am never gonna be in the battle. Us, the character, never be in the battle, which kind of disappoints me considering we are the leader of the expedition. Why are we not in the battle at any moment? It kind of annoys me. Like I said, the game has flaws, and this is one of them. I feel like the character, as a main character, we should have been able to take the guard of the main character and go into the battles and stuff. Because we take the guard of the main character when we're camping, when we're talking to people, when we're talking to the governor, when we're getting a wife, we cheating on our wife and shit. Like if we take all of that shit, we are like taken as a main character. So why during a battle? We can't battle as a main character and only command as a tactician or something like that. That kind of put me in a place where I was like conflicted, and I just was like, maybe if I was there, if my character was there, that's what I was feeling. So yeah, there's a peaceful approach. There's the violent approach. There's obviously these two approaches for this specific goal, and I went for a peaceful approach. I think it's the best approach that I can go for because I do have some pious party members, but I think so I can fulfill their needs later on because we also have a lot of open-minded party members, and open-minded party members they will love if I accept a peaceful approach with the natives because obviously they are not racist or anything. Yeah, this game also has two really weird stuff. One is racist, which is basically a trait. So a party member basically is like, if it's not the same race, then they always like hate that shit. So yeah, it's like a minus relationship if we don't do stuff for our same race or we do stuff for other races. Which is why I think so I had like one or two of them only, not a lot of them. I have no choice. I have to take these characters with me. Every character has a negative trait and I have to take them with me. Secondly, there's also sexist, which is basically a passive skill and is basically men or women, doesn't matter. If they're fighting against the opposite gender, they do 10% more damage, which I found really funny because it was just like, what the hell is this trait, man? And I think so I gave it to Bernardo, who's a narcissist and who was also my commander. Since he was a narcissist, I decided to just promote him to the max rank since his morale will be super down if I don't do that. And also he was great, honestly. He carried me in a lot of battles, so I won't complain about doing that. So yeah, we do take the peaceful approach and we take care of the situation pretty easily. After that, we learn about tinkering. Tinkering is basically like a way to make like traps and stuff, cannons, traps, poisons and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that can be used in all of this stuff. So yeah, this quest is pretty simple. It just like gives us a bunch of traps, I would say, or anything that is basically related to tinkering. Basically, it's crafting in this game, and it gives a massive advantage. Trust me, building materials will give you massive advantage over a lot of characters. Yeah, a lot of people in the battle, especially the barricades, because you want the barricades in front of you and a bunch of guys. When you're doing an escape battle, you want nets and traps and caltrops, all of that stuff. So yeah, tinkering is very, very useful. So just always make sure to have tinkering skill. Trust me, it is one of the most needed skills, I would say, in this game. And the scholars are great with that. Also, tinkering also helps you with like whenever you camp, you can have like various types of level up system where you can build a camp, a cart, an axe, a pickaxe, stuff like that. Just build those things, because if I remember, camp gives you morale up to +3 morale, which means +1 +2 is 3 and 3 + 3 is 6. In total you get 6 morale from that. And then you have axe, which gives you basically better wood and everything, which will be used in tinkering. And then you have pickaxe, again, more metals used in tinkering. And finally you get cart, which is basically like triple your speed, which is amazing because you can reach lots of places in half a day. So always focus on doing that on your camping days with your scholar, because scholars are really good at it. And now we're going after the second group of rebellions, I would say, and this time it is someone called Esteban Gallego, who is like a really big criminal apparently. He's also attacking the Spanish crown in the silver mine, so obviously we have to go and take him down. So like Esteban was there talking to like somebody there, I guess a soldier or somebody. And here's the thing, right? So I didn't know that there was more stuff to be had with Esteban, right? Like talking and stuff. Like we could approach Esteban, or we could just wait up and listen to him. Now if you wait up and listen to him, then your followers who are cautious don't feel anything, but you straight up approach him, your followers will be really mad. And now you approached him and your followers are mad, the cautious followers, and you're like, sorry buddies. But yeah, like we attacked them, and like we set up a trap and everything, and our long range followers take care of them, no issues, because they're just too good for me. They're just amazing, our long range followers. But yeah, like we easily take care of these guys. So yeah, like usually I would recommend for this setup, just go with 2 soldiers, 2 hunters and a doctors, and 6 depending on how the party setup is. Again, my recommendation is always a scholar, but I think the 6th member can be anybody, honestly. Me personally, I would say scholar. So yeah, like it's an easy mission and everything, and Esteban then escapes in the most dramatic way possible by falling off in like a cliff and everything, and it's funny to us. But yeah, like this time there is another rebellion group basically. So there's a 3rd rebellion group basically. One we have approached as peaceful ways, and they departed from the island, which is pretty good. Then we deal with Esteban, but Esteban escaped, and now there is a 3rd rebel group that we know. So we talked to this chick named Leandra in a camp basically in Santiago, I think, so that's the place's name. So there is Leandra, and Leandra tells us that there is a rebel in the northern part of the place, and we have to go and check on that. When we go and check on that, the rebel attacks us instead though, which is like really sad, because we thought that we were the ones who were going to check on the rebels, but instead we got ambushed by the rebels. So like we have to survive this time around, and again the best bet is build barricades around you, build caltrops, build the nets. It's really useful. Nets basically are like they're used to like lose a turn basically, I would say. So like whenever you put on a net and somebody steps on it, that person loses a turn. Caltrop is -2 movement per turn, and barricades basically barricades the whole place. So in general, having those 3 things around you, and don't forget torches, because torches is really good as well, because it increases your range efficiency, because people have darkness penalties. Yeah, you obviously can take it away like I did for one of my archers, but it's kind of a waste, I would say, because it's not worth it, because your archers still hit pretty good, I think so. So yeah, and then it turns out that Leandra betrayed us, and we go back for that and inform that shit to the governor. Here's the thing, right? After this mission is done and you inform them about the whole rebel situation, the governor, I realized something. I didn't get one party member. That's right. I had taken the party member from Santiago, if I remember correctly, but I did not take one of the party members that should have joined us. And that party member is none other than a very crucial NPC whose name is Isabella. So she's a party member who's so important to the storyline that I've completely forgot about her. Because here's the thing. If you're playing this game on sudden death and you're doing this quest, because I have been through this experience and I was just like, wait, doesn't anybody die over here? So here's the thing, right? Esteban comes back and kidnaps Isabella. Is supposed to kidnap Isabella, but I don't have her. I screwed up the conversation, due to which Isabella just didn't join our party. So now one of our main expedition crew members is kidnapped by Esteban. So here's the thing. Montego, I think that was the guy who was kidnapped by Esteban. So here's the thing. When you go and rescue him, he's supposed to die right after that. Also, you get one of our party members also get injured. All right. So yeah. So basically, you have a chance of losing 2 party members in this one. I think there was a loud noise of a car passing by or something, right? So, sorry, I was recording next to my window. So yeah, like when you are in this whole battle and everything, like between the rebels and the governor and everything, right? So you're supposed to lose basically 2 party members, and one of them are story-based party members, another one is basically your own party member. So obviously I had sudden death off. So this guy basically stabs one of our party members and takes one of our own party members away, which I didn't know about. All right, so he takes Montego away, I think so, and he just leaves our, I think so, it was our scholar to die, and I was just like, wait, is she gonna die? Is she gonna die? I kept on treating her and she was alright, and I was like, suspicious, but okay. So like I went in, I saved Montego. So here's the thing, Isabella dies over here, but Montego was still alive. So in case you didn't know, anybody's supposed to die over in that situation, because it's very hard to save any of the party members over there. Doesn't matter the situation. I've tried a bajillion of times on sudden death, and I have seen people on sudden death try and do this and save the party member. It's next to impossible. There's like 5% chance that you can save them, but it's very tough, very tough to save that party member, because on sudden death they just die. They're dead. They don't come back. So yeah, it's very tough to save any of the party members on that when you're doing this quest, and that is why you need Isabella, who is supposed to be the main sacrifice, but you don't have her, which causes me to lose Montego. And I was just like, oh come on, not Montego. And I was just like, oh, he's still alive. Okay, that's fine by me as well. That's the funny part, because I was just like, oh, he's still alive, huh? Maybe I'm lucky, that's why he's still alive. After that, we go back to Santo Domingo and basically inform the people, the governor of this island, that about what the situation, the Leandra situation, everything, right? We also kill Esteban, by the way, and he basically says that Leandra betrayed him and everything, and we inform that to the governor of Santo Domingo, and he's like, oh, Leandra betrayed him? Okay, he's dead, I guess. So we also come to know that Leandra is gathering forces, mustering forces against the governor, and the whole rebel forces coming here. And we also know that they're going towards the village. That's a side quest though, but I still do it because I did take care about Santa Diego. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, I did care about that place as well, and I was like, okay, I'll go there. And it's also a place to one of our companions is. It's like a native place of one of our companions, so it's like really important for them. So we also go and save that place, and we also take on Leandra. So taking on Leandra is quite simple. You have to survive tensions. Again, at this point you should have a lot of traps. Use them. Don't let your traps go to waste. Use them. Very important tip, because this is the final time you'll get to use your traps over your. So just use them, because you can always make new traps later on when you play in the second part of the scenario. But use all your traps over here that you have made, because it's really useful. It's the final battle of the first scenario. Don't think too much, just go with it. Now also try to do all the side quests if possible before completing this stuff, because I'm not going to go through all the side quests, otherwise this video is going to be like 2 hours long, and this video I already feel like will be an hour and a half long. So I don't want to go all the way to 2 hours, 2.5 hours or something like that. So I'm just going to talk about like the main quests and stuff. But yeah, just build your traps. Everything should be fine. Take your best 6 soldiers out there and just defend with like your life depends on it. It's fine even if your soldier is like almost dead or something like that, because we're just gonna move into the next one. Oh yeah, did I mention Montego is now traumatized because of the whole event? That's the funny part. That's the funniest part out of all the things that happen in this place, because I did not expect to get her traumatized. It doesn't do anything, alright? It doesn't do anything. It's just traumatized for the rest of his life. We ruined his life by traumatizing him for the rest of his life. That's the crazy part. So then, all is just amazing. We defeat Leandra. Leandra is dead. Governor is happy. The governor's knight is happy. Governor gives us our ship back, and we are ready to sail again. And this time, we'll be sailing to Mexico.
Near the coast, a terrible storm rose up and battered our ship. Desperately, we attempt to reach the safety of the shore, but tragedy struck. 3 of our friends were lost to the reef, and we were forced to return to the ship. When the winds finally faded and the hot sun reappeared, we rowed to shore. We were wrecked and weary, but we had arrived.
Alright, let's talk about Mexico. This is the second part of the game, and this is basically where you can get any kind of ending you want, honestly. Because you can just go back and complete the game and do stuff and everything. But we're focusing on the main quest and my rant coming up in like a few minutes. I don't know how many minutes, but for a few minutes from here. So, simple thing here where we'll begin is that we land in Mexico and get scattered from our crew. Our crew is found in a village. They have some disease or something like that which can be treated pretty easily. Okay, this is done. Get that away now. Alright, let's focus on the main thing now. The main quests here, A, is to rebuild a fort, and B is to do a quest for, I think so they're called the Totonunk or the Tenochtitlan. I don't remember which clan it is. It's one of those two. I just can't remember which one. I think so it was the Tenochtitlan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So one of those two clans. But the bigger clan, there we go. So the one which is like more developed and everything, like you see a great area of everything, like that clan. So I selected to quest for those clans. So here's the thing, alright. A, I build a barracks. I go out, camp, build a barrack, camp. It uses some valuables, but I had way too many valuables at that point. So it's fine. So yeah. Like, keep on going, camp, keep on going, camp. So, bunch of stuff. Okay. Second, I did not know this apparently, but you can do a quest for this bigger clan or the smaller clan. The smaller clan obviously wants to vote for the bigger clan, and the bigger clan obviously wants to destroy the smaller clan. That's basically how it is. Here's the thing. The Aztecs are gonna attack the bigger clan, alright? And the smaller clan is not trying to, like, I would say they're not trying to combine together with these guys, and so basically they are all with Aztec instead of this bigger clan. All that is fine. Story wise, everything is fine. I don't mind it. Now here's what I hated. I encountered a game breaking bug and I actually got annoyed by it, and I just said screw it all, I'm just gonna go for the ending. So it was with thinking, what kind of game ending bug did I encounter? What kind of game breaking bug did I encounter? So apparently, if you select the quest for the smaller clan and the quest is protect the envoy. Now I was in the ongoing quest, okay, for that one. Here's the thing. The bigger clan asks us to destroy the village, or I think so there is some kind of betrayal or something that happens. So we basically let a jaguar free, and they hate us, so I can't complete that quest. And I was like, okay, screw that, we won't do that quest. And so we decided to do the final quest. I was just like, okay, final quest, no big deal, this will be my final quest, and then I'll return to the Spanish lands. That should be fine, right? No, it won't be fine, because I tried it total of three times. First time I went for it, it got stuck on the information screen after I defeated all the enemies, and I was just like, did I encounter a bug? Maybe. Second time, same result. I was just like, okay, this is getting annoying. I have to do this. This is how the game is going to treat me. Third time, I was just done. I was like, what the hell? Come on. I don't even know what's wrong with this shit, but it's so annoying. So yeah, that was really annoying. So like, I had a lot of riches. Okay, I just decided to go back to French. And this is Spanish, but I just decided to go back to Spain, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm not gonna go through this shit again. I'm so done. I've already built a fort. I've already discovered the Golden Temple. I've already got a bunch of Aztec and like the other clans or whatever, other natives that like become our companions and stuff. So I'm done. I don't want anything else. Screw it all. And I never did that quest, and I think so I was pretty satisfied with the ending as well. So I'll just show you guys the ending.
With our long quest at an end, the time had finally come for us to return to Spain. Our journey home was quiet and uneventful, and in those silent days, we had plenty of time to contemplate what we had undergone and to think of memories of home. When we finally sighted the coast of Spain, we understood that we were not the same people who had left so long ago. No matter what lay before us, our life would never be the same. When we showed the king the overflowing treasures in our hall, he was beside himself with excitement. A lavish banquet was held in our honor, and all were impressed by our chronicles of the new world. As reward, our Capitan was granted a prestigious title and bestowed with rich lands outside the capital. The rest of us were likewise well rewarded with lands and titles. Thanks to the leadership of our Capitan, our Compañía returned to Spain even larger than when we had departed. Among the bourgeoisie, news spread like wildfire of our exploits, and soon many people flocked to our side. But even as we grew in numbers and prestige, those of us who had been there from the start held on to our special bone. We saw many peoples and places in our journey. Our Capitan sought to make his mark on the new world, but perhaps we were too small to be of any consequence. It was for others to make history. For us, we were happy to have enough to have survived.
So yeah, that was the ending actually. So I was pretty satisfied with the ending. I was just like, okay, that's fine by me as well. Because I think I did it more than enough to a point where I was just like, okay, this is a good ending to have. Now here's the thing, right? We couldn't build a relationship with Aztec. So I think that there's this like one thing that was missing, and that is like becoming the top dog in the industry or something like that. The Spanish industry or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that was missing. And I was just like, fine. I won't. So yeah, I did encounter some game breaking bugs. For example, some of the bugs that I encountered was like, sometimes I would just go quickly, like one of the times I was in the fort, I was coming back out of the fort and then waiting days and days, and I was just like passing it through. So sometimes what used to happen is when I used to pass the days through, there was a conversation going on and I was just running past, like I could hear my horse going tuk, 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 and I was just like, okay, shit, I don't even know what's gonna happen. So like there was this one point where I was like having this conversation and having this another conversation, and I was just like, oh shit, the game broke. So yeah, that's like, those were instances like that. By no means is the game perfect. I enjoyed the game, like I won't deny it. I always enjoyed the game. I always enjoy these kind of games. They're fun for me because I like playing as a character, as an RPG character, a role-playing character, right? So I like playing as those kind of characters, and I always enjoy those kind of games. So nothing wrong with this, but what annoyed me the most was the ending, because I couldn't do jack shit about the ending. I tried and it just kept on crashing. Well, not really crashing, but bugging out for me. And I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna go back to Spanish lands and claim the ending myself. Now there are other Expedition games. I don't know if it's made by the same studio or not. There's Expedition Viking, Expedition Rome. Again, I don't know if it's made by the same studio or not, but I will try that in near future because I have never tried any of those games, and I would love to try those games. Now this week you guys have already gotten Company of Heroes. This might be an early release because it didn't take me a long time to complete this game, so this might be early release, maybe Friday, maybe Thursday, something like that, maybe even Sunday. in case I'm feeling lazy and I don't do my editing and stuff. But yeah, there's like this week has been great for me in general. All of you guys have been supporting me with all those, like getting so many views and so many likes per video is just amazing. Like somebody who has grown in this past 2 years the most, I would say. Like you see 1.6 subs, but I think so out of 1.6, almost 1,000 subs have been in the last 2 years for me, and that is actually great for me because I do not think that like people will be enjoying my content so much, and especially now when I'm just getting so many views in general. Like I've been getting constant 100+ views, and I wasn't expecting that, right? Because I just was like, you know what, let's start with Phoenix Wright, because I just feel like I want to do some more videos, voiceovers like this, where I play a game and I explain the story to you while also pointing out what I felt were flaws and pointing out what I felt or like the goods of the games, like an overview of the game, not really a review but an overview where I could just talk about the game in general. And I enjoy that. I personally enjoy that. I found myself enjoying that in this a couple of weeks that I have been recording all of these things. I think I've been recording for almost a month though, but yeah, like I think it's been 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks at max, because I started recording around Christmas time. So like all this time it's been great for me, and honestly I'm enjoying this more than I was enjoying the part to part video, because I used to like, I had to wait to complete a game and then move on, because obviously I had to edit the video and then I had to like put it out and then I had to free some space. But this instead works out well for me because I don't have to wait for a game to play. I can play the game at any time, and when I'm done I could let the video out at my regular time, that is 10 a.m. IST. So yeah, that is great for me. Honestly, yeah, I enjoyed this game as well, Expedition Conquistador. It's a very small title. It didn't get a lot of recognition in 2013, and I was one of the people who went for the game, and I was just like, yeah, I enjoyed it. It's not a bad game, it's not a great game, it's an enjoyable game. That's what I will say for any strategy gamers out there. Now next week, most probably it should be next week, I will be playing a game that recently released. It's called War Hospital. So I'll be going forward and playing that because I wanted to try it because it seemed like an interesting game. But through what I've seen, there is a bunch of complaints that a lot of guys give. It's like a mixed review. So unless and until I play it, I don't know. I will enjoy the game. I'll let you guys know. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Also, if there's any Discord sound, that's me, not you guys. Sorry about that. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video where most probably I'll be playing War Hospital. Now I also want you guys to comment down below, like whichever game you want me to play, like anything that's below 50 GB. Because right now I don't have a hard drive to actually get a 50, something like 100 GB game. So I'm just gonna say anything below 50 GB and I can play it. I can definitely play it. I already have planned few games for next month for sure. One of them I'll announce is Phoenix Wright because I enjoyed the first part. Obviously Ace Attorney. I've played that as a kid. And the second part will be Ace Attorney. Not Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney. Phoenix Wright. Trials and Tribulations. I think so that's the next one. And then you have Phoenix Wright, Justice for All. Again, if there's any Discord sound in the background, that's me, not you guys, okay? Don't worry. Also, another game that I'm trying to play next month is Age of Wonders. I stopped on that. I will most probably play that as well. I'll play, I believe, the Orc. I was playing the Orcs. That's what I'll continue to play with Age of Wonders. So yeah, I enjoy these kind of videos, and Age of Wonders was kind of the reason I started doing these videos and I started enjoying these videos. And so I just was like, you know what, since I enjoyed these kind of videos, maybe you guys will enjoy it as well, because it's honestly, that's how I felt. Because if I enjoy something, I think you guys will enjoy it as well as my audience. Because I think of myself as an audience as well, and I try to like listen to myself, and sometimes I do enjoy myself, sometimes I just get bored. But I had to put my content out daily, and I think that's where I stressed out a lot about putting my content out daily and stuff. Now on a weekly basis, like if I get 1 or 2 videos out per week, I don't mind that, honestly. I actually don't mind that, because I can get a lot of stuff done in a whole last week. And even if I get like 2 hours or 3 hours of playtime, I can still do some editing work and stuff. So yeah, unless until it's like an RPG game, then I have to start like a whole month from this beginning. So yeah, or I have to take a break in the middle, and I'll like in 2 weeks get back to you guys and be like, I completed this game. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I am again really thankful to you guys for supporting me all the way through over here, and genuine heartfelt from me to you guys. I love you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace out, boys.